What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the merch. So, little disappointing this week. I was working all during the Record Store Day events that were happening on Saturday. A little unfortunate. Didn't get to pick up any of the ones that I was looking at. Honestly, the big one that stuck out to me was, of course, Shadows Fall, The War Within. For a lot of people, Shadows Fall was another gateway band, especially if you're talking about the new wave of American heavy metal, metalcore, whatever you want to call it. These guys were straight up thrash, especially if you go way back to Of One Blood. Even Somber Eyes to the Sky, if you're looking at that, I mean, that was Phil Labonte before he joined All That Remains. So Shadows Fall goes back a long way. My first introduction to them was actually The War Within, then I kind of went backwards. A little disappointing I couldn't pick up a copy of that this year. I did notice that some sites are still selling it online. Depending on where you're going, I'm seeing $34.99, upwards of $38.99, plus shipping, taxes. It ends up being $45 for a one vinyl LP set. It's not a gatefold. It's not, but there does seem to be like a lot of liner notes, and they're adding like a booklet and some couple nice things to that. So I'm still debating if I'm going to go buy it online. I called around a bunch of the shops. Most record stores only carried one copy of it. So it looks like this was a super limited press run. The vinyl looks beautiful. It's kind of like a black and white marble, maybe a little bit of blue in there and gray. So the vinyl itself actually looks beautiful. It'd have been really nice to pick up, maybe at a decent price range, like $32, $31. But online, yeah, I'm seeing $34.99 to $38.99. And of course, the scalper jockeys out there, they're selling at $49, $50, and etc. It keeps going up. It's just not that worth it to me to buy something that expensive. So what I was planning on doing is reaching out to a couple more of the record stores once I'm off work. This is day like 8 for me for as far as work goes. So we've been on for a while, a little tired, a little cranky. My next day off is coming soon. So I was thinking about picking that up, calling like Mojo's Records, a couple of the record stores in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, all those areas to see if anyone's going to actually get extra copies or if they can actually order a copy online. That's what one of the record stores did for me last year when the other Shadows Fall release came out, and what they ended up doing was they reordered it after Record Store Day, and that's how I got a copy of it. So I'm wondering if some of the record stores that are local will be able to do the same exact thing for me. It'd be really a great album to have, though. To have The War Within on vinyl, especially my first introduction to Shadows Fall. Super thrashy, super melodic, super clean production. Sounds amazing. I would still say it's my favorite Shadows Fall record to this day. Tough call because I really do enjoy all their records. I mean, from beginning to end, there is not a bad Shadows Fall album, whether you're talking about Retribution or Fire from the Sky, Fallout from the War, War Within, Of One Blood. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even the EPs were great. So even the Somber Eyes to the Sky was great with Phil Labonte. So I would really like to be able to snag a copy of this online, maybe at a better price, because after taxes and all that stuff, it comes out to $45. And for the money, I do have a couple of things saved up that I would like to spend that kind of money on. Most notably, I really want to get a repress of Dismember, Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. There's some represses going out. Some of them were up to $75 to $100, $150. Looks like the prices finally came down on that, so I'm starting to see the $40, $45, $50 range for the Back on Black or the blue repress. So I think that's kind of where I pitch my money towards, where if I'm going to spend big money on one album, that's what I want to spend my money on. I do have some new things coming in right now, so to spend $45 on this, I feel like I can wait, scope it out, see what I can find. Some of these record stores are bound to carry it. So a couple things coming in the mail, a couple things coming up in the Bay Area, especially, Tampa Bay area. Couple things coming up. So the guys over at Magnanimous Brewing, they're over in downtown Tampa, Florida. They did a collaboration with the band Worm. If you look them up on Instagram, it's Worm Gloom. But this is like dark, cavernous, black and thrash and, death metal all mixed together. A little bit of that Florida Chuck Schuldiner death metal sound. I reviewed their last album. It's fantastic. Calling it the Blue Album, basically, because of the cover. They did a collaboration with the band, the band Worm. They did a collaboration with them, so they have a dark beer. Looks like it might be a clash between like a Berliner and a Weiss beer. I'm not sure. I need to relook in a Pilsen. So it looks like it's a combination beer, but basically it's a dark black can. The cans look amazing. So they did a collaboration with Magnanimous Brewing and the band Worm. Can't wait to pick that up, pick up a 4-pack. Magnanimous is great. A lot of their stuff is heavy metal based. If you look at their IPA Death to All But Citra, it looks like Metallica, especially the way the lettering is written. So definitely looking forward to that. Anberlin just announced that they're doing a concert at Brewery Brewing in downtown St. Petersburg. So Anberlin, you know what? Still love those guys. Still great to listen to them. You know, classic 90s OOs, punk, a little bit of hardcore edge in there sometimes. A lot of influences from The Cure. You could tell what the guys in the band listened to growing up, especially. But it's a Tampa-based band. You know, some of them were from like Polk County, and you know, I've been listening to these guys for a super long time. Last time I saw them, I thought was going to be the last time I saw them, was the finale tour, St. Petersburg. Then they ended up in Orlando for their final show. Pretty amazing show. They played every song I would have wanted to hear. Everyone was crying, bawling their eyes out at the end of that show. It was so great to see them because I thought we were never going to see them again. They ended up doing a bunch of shows since then. Glad to see them back together. Glad to see them still writing stuff. I think Stephen Christian he's still a pastor at one of the big churches here in Clearwater. So now they're doing an acoustic show at Brewery Brewing. That's going to be on May 12th. I already got tickets to that because I just want to go see them, have a couple beers, and just watching a great acoustic band play. Tickets were a little bit more expensive than I was expecting because, you know, and it's on Eventbrite. And Eventbrite doesn't punish you with fees for the most part, but I think for 2 tickets it was like $79. So it was definitely expensive, but it's a great opportunity. I mean, it helps out the brewery, helps out the band. We get to see more of them. We get to listen to their tunes some more. Kind of similar to how Trivium did with Coppertail Brewing last year. You know, this is a great time to be a Floridian. You know, everyone and their brother's fucking moving here, but, you know, can't do anything about that. But right now, for being a Floridian, especially a Tampa Bay guy, I love what's going on with the rock and metal scene, the brewery scene right now. I mean, I used to think Asheville was, you know, tops when it came to breweries, and I think, honestly, we got everybody beat between Dunedin, St. Pete, Tampa, you know, I mean, all over the place. I mean, Sarasota, whether it's North Tampa, whatever. Brandon, everybody's got breweries. We have an amazing scene here. Everyone is in the Florida Brewers Guild. They're super supportive of one of each other. Anyway, I'm ranting. So, yeah, Anberlin, May 12th. I already got tickets. It looks pretty cool. You have to buy by seat and by table, which is how it seems like it's set up, which is super weird for Bayboro, but it'll be great to go see those guys play. Anyway, so we got that coming up, and of course we got the Chimaira reunion. That's coming up May 13th. I'm literally hopping on a plane after the Anberlin show the following morning at dark 30, probably at like 5 in the morning, I think is when my ticket's for. Flying up to Cleveland, they're going to go see Chimaira play. Can't wait to see those guys, man. My favorite band of all time. I'm glad they did another reunion show after COVID. Maybe we'll even get a bonus track or a new song or something. I did a whole video review on them getting back together. When I saw them in 2017 to play that final show, you know, Chimaira Christmas 15, to me, it's still the greatest concert I've ever been to because they played every song I would have wanted to hear. Everyone sounded super clean. I felt bad because Anders Herrick couldn't make it because he was super sick. He's been dealing with that GI illness for the longest time. But to get to go see the boys play again, man, they just absolutely incredible. I mean, the whole set, they recorded it, but I really wish there was a live DVD or something because I would have loved to have cherished that and have it be a live DVD. Although the live music is on YouTube right now. But they played Salvation, Lazarus. They opened up with Pictures in the Gold Room. I never thought in a million years I'd be able to hear that song live. And then they finished it off with Jade, which to me was so special, especially if you've been listening to the band since the first album or even the first EP. To hear Jade live and then Mark Hunter coming out playing guitar with the rest of the band, it was just a magical experience to be able to be a part of that. So excited to see Chimaira play again. Anyway, right now, like I said, you know, it's unfortunate I couldn't grab a copy of Shadows Fall, The War Within. I'm hoping some of the local record stores will have a copy of it. There's a lot of great stuff that came out for Record Store this year. I'm kind of curious what you guys picked up, what you guys were looking forward to, what you guys picked up. The lines looked incredible. It just really showed to me that live music, heavy music, you know, vinyl, CDs, everything is alive and well. Physical media is doing well. All these record stores getting together, doing collaborations and stuff. It was really cool to see everyone doing that. Anyway, like I said in my last video, I have a bunch of videos that I actually pre-recorded. I just need to get off my ass and go do them. Right now, you know, in the car, we're playing the newest by Barry Tomorrow. This is The Seventh Son, and this is their newest record since their clean vocalist and bassist left. You know what? I was really nervous about the way this was going to sound, but their clean vocalist sounds incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's not how the band has sounded for the last 20 years, But to be honest with you, they do really sound incredible. There's a couple of guest vocalists on here, and the female vocals, which I don't think we've ever had in the band before, as far as I know. But the final track, featuring Cody Frost, the Carcass King, female vocals, are you kidding me? I mean, it was incredible. Every song is amazing. Go listen to all of them. I don't even know if I can pick a favorite one for you. I mean, Wrath and Majesty, two of the super emotional, super passionate songs. Every song on here is amazing. I mean, God, they're all incredible. This is the first band I've listened to in ages where the entire album, there's no cutter songs, there's no filler songs, there's no songs that they just wrote because they like one line and they had to make a song out of it. No, every flipping song is amazing, and it's so rare that a band does that. I mean, every song is incredible, but like I said, Wrath and Majesty, probably in my top 2. Wrath actually ends with a violin cutout, and it's beautiful. Oh my God, the entire album's incredible. I'm so glad they did it. I think it's a huge, I loved Cannibal, don't get me wrong. Cannibal, I felt the same way. No filler songs, no cutter songs. I thought Cannibal was incredible, super emotional and passionate, definitely on the darker end of things. But now that, I was a little nervous with the electronics of the keyboard. It's so weird for Bury Tomorrow to add a keyboard, and it sounds amazing. It's not overdone. It's not overly electronic like that one album that I get in arguments about all the time with one of my buddies. The album that came out before Cannibal, I was just disappointed in it because the recording quality sucked. You could barely hear the screams. Everything sounded like black static. It was so bad that the band had to re-record it, that album. So I'm sure remember which one I'm talking about. Can't think of the name of it because my memory sucks. I thought the single for that album was great, but overall the album just felt overly electronic, and it just didn't do anything for me. It didn't remind me of Bury Tomorrow, which is essentially what I'm saying. I've been listening to Bury Tomorrow since the very first album, Portraits. Wax Wings is still my favorite Bury Tomorrow song of all time. And, I've noticed Bury Tomorrow is even, they haven't done it on the last couple of albums, but that super, super, super high octave lead guitar playing that they did at the end of Wax Wings, you know what I'm talking about if you know that song. Every album would feature a song like that. And I've noticed the last 2 or 3 albums didn't include that anymore. I think the last time we had an album that included the super, super, super high octave guitar leads, which they used to do on every album, was Earthbound. So we're going back way, way back. That was the last album that did that. They kind of touched on it a little bit on this album, but overall, it's a fantastic album. I got it on vinyl because, of course, I did. I wanted the CD. I wanted the vinyl. Had to have it in the house. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. If you are a fan of physical media, go pick it up. I have it in the car. I got a vinyl at home. It's incredible. It's honestly, it's hard, man. Bury Tomorrow, I would safely say, is carrying the flag for metalcore and heavy metal in general. I mean, these guys are from England, and I would safely say that these guys, they're carrying the flag, man. For heavy metal. They're still playing the way we want them to play. They haven't changed they haven't changed the formula. They're not doing what Architects is doing. They're not doing what Bring Me the Horizon did. And I don't hate Bring Me the Horizon stuff. They just infinitely changed. Architects did too. Architects is really obsessed with the electronic stuff. I didn't think the last 2 albums were all that great. There's a couple of really good songs, don't get me wrong, but the albums as a whole just, Hollow Crown Architects, I don't think we're ever going to get that again. It's unfortunate, but the majority of Architects' discography is fantastic. I just didn't care for the last 2 albums. I think maybe they'll start changing stuff up and playing that way again, but anyway, Bury Tomorrow, like I said, they haven't changed the formula. They sound amazing. They give me exactly what I want every time. They sound absolutely incredible. I love this album. I will say it's going to go in my top 3 of 2023. That's for darn sure. We have so many other tunes coming out too, and this is already there. A couple of pre-orders that I ended up getting, so we're still waiting on the double release from the Acacia Strain that comes out in a couple of weeks, that comes out in May. Can't wait. They got a 44-minute 3-song album, which they're co-partnering with Primitive Man and Full of Hell, if I'm not mistaken. So all 3 bands collabing and doing like a 44-minute 3-song album, which they said they wanted to do something different. It's a continuation. And then Failure is the second album, and that's just going to be a straight-up Acacia Strain album. All the singles are great. So I got that pre-ordered.